I'm fairly critical of TikTok and the way people use it myself, but I'm following this TikTok ban drama online, specifically on TikTok, with a lot of interest. I think it's quite fascinating how people are getting super upset about this app being taken away from them. As in, my livelihood depends on it. You cannot take away this app from me. I draw so much inspiration from this app. And I have thoughts on that. And I also have thoughts on the, I don't know, what is it, Congress, where this kind of legislation thingy is happening. I'm sorry, I'm absolutely not into politics, neither German politics, much less American politics. So I know little to nothing about that. That being said, the thing that I find so fascinating is how people get so super defensive about this app. I mean, what happened to books? What happened to other sources of information? What happened to being able to read through an entire blog article to understand a topic and gain some deeper knowledge of a thing? When did this start that people have stopped being critical of TikTok and have become dependent on TikTok? For instance, I have seen people talk about how TikTok for Gen Zers has become the #1 search engine. They look up shit first on the app before they Google that. And I get it, Google on mobile is not optimal, you scroll through things, the search experience is so limited, and you have this tiny stupid screen. Who wants to search shit on a tiny screen? Like even if my vision was great, I would not enjoy it. I do not enjoy tapping on tiny things with my arthritic fingers. And I'm pretty sure if I was 20 still, I would also not enjoy it. Although I could choose a smaller font, I guess. And that way simulate the large display experience. Like for idiots, I don't know. That's stupid to me. But I also have experienced this, for instance, when I have like a knitting issue and I want to look up a very basic technique, then I search that on TikTok. And 40, 60, I get a solution. Like 60 is the non-solution, the other shit that I was not looking for. To me, that's really inefficient because if I use Boolean operators and use a search engine in the way it is supposed to be used, my efficiency is at 80 to 100%, depending on the topic. As in, the first or second entry is the solution to my question because I word the question in a way that I find the solution. I don't think that this is possible on TikTok. And I don't think that is the purpose of TikTok. They are not trying to teach you stuff. They're trying to get you to watch ads. Google does that too. But Google doesn't have to keep you on their site searching for hours to display ads to you. They collect your data, create a profile on you, they track you, and then they show you stuff that you were looking for anyway. And if you buy it, they cash out, which makes sense. As much as I hate being tracked, the non-personalized ad experience is actually worse than being tracked and having personalized ad. Because I don't know, I just don't need some dick enhancement ad. I have no use for that. And the next point is how people get so upset about the app potentially being taken away as a source of their income. That thing I can understand, but it also points to the completely obvious flaw that people who say this is an issue for them have based their entire income strategy on one source. And I see that with a lot of YouTubers too. I feel like this is such a basic principle in personal finance. It baffles me how many people seem to be dependent on this app. And maybe for some creators, I mean, now that they have like, I don't know, half a year left, maybe this is a good point in time to overthink their income strategy in general. I don't mean that in a sarcastic way. I mean it in a non-sarcastic way, because I've been there and it's not a good strategy. Like I have 2 online shops, a blog that draws in money, work and YouTube, and I still don't feel like this is enough. So many people are going online on apps like TikTok complaining about what it's like to live in this economy. But what are they doing about their own situation? Are they waiting for some Deus ex machina to come and help them? Because that is not going to happen. I feel like many creators think that way about YouTube and TikTok, as in these apps almost function like an employer. And in a way, it is such a thing, just with zero personal connection to that employer. If YouTube or TikTok is your source of income and you rely on that, but they don't really rely on you, you're not a valued employee. You're a not so much valued contractor. You're disposable and replaceable. And that is a real problem I feel not enough people talk about. So now about the ban and the behavior of these members of Congress or whatever they're called. I find it actually pretty hilarious to see these kinds of interviews, as in with this, what's he called, Mr. Chu? Like, are you Chinese? No, Senator, I'm Singaporean. I served my nation in Singapore. Americans not knowing what the difference is between Singapore and China. Sorry, this is hilarious. It's like not knowing the difference between Germany and Austria. Don't do that. We hate that. And I feel like there is also this real issue of a lot of old people deciding over something again that will impact young people way more than it will impact them, and playing this, oh, we care so much about the safety of our nation, our children, blah, 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 and so on, which is a legit claim. But still, it always feels icky to me when people who don't really have to live with a decision make one for another generation, the generation that has to live with their fucking decision. I see this fairly often here in Germany, and it leads to a lot of social injustice for the younger generations, a lot of disadvantages, especially financially, and a lot of people dislike it. But also, younger people are kind of numb, are kind of done with politics because they're so frustrated. So this is a never-ending cycle of being unhappy, which is also stupid. I mean, you can't criticize the system and then not do anything about it, other than post on TikTok, which is not doing something. Activism is not rolling around in your room saying stuff. Activism is writing to officials, criticizing them, bringing your attention to many people, getting all these people to talk to more other people, not just online, in real life. Calling people, annoying them with the stuff that you want, with your claims, holding them accountable. That is activism. Activism is not complaining online. That's being a Karen. Anyway, I am still trying to understand the full picture, and for that, I want to do like a thought experiment. If this was happening in Germany, how would I feel about it? Because it's very easy to say, oh, these stupid Americans, these boomers, they know nothing. They want to protect their country. How stupid are they? Would I feel the same way, or would people feel the same way if this was happening in the EU? Because I feel the EU is getting a lot of praise for stuff they forbid, as in, look what Europe does. Europe does the right thing. Why can't we be like Europe? Guys, we have issues too. And not all EU legislation imposed on citizens of the EU are welcome in those countries. A lot of the shit they do pisses us off as well. But a lot of the stuff is also good. So it's 50-50 sometimes. Anyway, I feel people are more forthcoming and less ill-willed when it comes to EU examples. So let's just think about it. If it was the EU saying, oh, we gotta protect the data, we gotta protect our citizens, and we cannot let this app grab all the data. Me having a camera shield on my phone just for TikTok. Like, the only reason I have this on my phone is I'm superstitious that they're scanning my face while I'm using the app. So I looked it up, and apparently they really do scan faces while people are watching shit. Just a little bit outrageous. I mean, as in, think of rage bait. Imagine the TikTok algorithm finds that you watch stuff longer and stay in the app longer if you look at stuff that is upsetting you. Then of course they will always show you more upsetting shit, which is a total waste of your lifetime. Stuff like that is problematic. Anyway, back to the thought experiment. So if I'd see EU legislation going for banning TikTok to protect digital rights, I think I would be less critical of that legislation in comparison to seeing US America do that. Kind of unfair, because it's the same old boomers, just different countries. I'm pretty sure our chancellor doesn't know shit about TikTok. And it would also not be the first time in politics that politicians just hate something to hate it and forbid it and not deal with the real problems, because it's easy to hate stuff together. It unites people, it gives you a common enemy, and then you can fake a solution for a non-problem. I don't know, it wouldn't be the first time. But in case of TikTok, there really is a problem. They are dealing with data of the users in a way that I don't agree with. I don't want them to scan my face. I don't want them to send me stuff that I don't want to see, even if my brain wants to see it. I want educational content if I use that app, and cat pictures. But I will still be shown, I don't know, all sorts of stuff that I never want to see, from ranging from illness fakers to really shitty music, and basically 100% of what teenagers do. I don't want to see any teenagers, all right? If I want to see teenagers, I go to the Sephora stand in our city. Yeah, we have that in Germany too. Crazy, right? Then I can teenager watch, which I don't do because that's creepy. But I don't want to see what these youngsters are doing. I want to see middle-aged women like me talking about figure skating. And by the way, for that, the app has been great. The app has helped me with so many things in figure skating, and it's encouraging and motivating. But I'm strictly swiping up when I see some bullshit, which is hard enough because this app is really trying everything to make you stupid. It's not an educational app at all, in my opinion. It's a brain-numbing app, and that is an issue that needs to be addressed. I think if you ban an app like TikTok, another app like TikTok will come, an app that makes you stupid. Because everyone just wants to wind down after a long work day. Everyone just wants to put their life on hold, get a little dopamine, and sit on a toilet for half an hour to watch stupid shit, which is not healthy. Get your ass up from that seat and move. At least do the laundry while you're watching stuff. TikTok has an auto scroll mode. I think that issue will not be addressed by this legislation. And they are making it all about, oh, China is spying on our citizens. Dude. China is spying on your citizens no matter what app they use. If China wants to spy on you, they can do that. Just like the USA is probably spying on the Germans. Like at this point, intelligence-wise, user data-wise, we're all spying on each other. If you don't want to be spied on, you have to use GPG or something. You have to step away from apps like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, which is owned by Facebook, start using Signal. You have to use a secure phone operating system, and you have to stop uploading your data everywhere all the time. Most people are not willing to do that. Most people shit on their privacy all the time, but then complain when it's China who's doing it. Oh yeah? What's the difference? Like there are economic competitors? Who isn't? Or is it about, oh, fighting communism? Whatever that means. Like if it is any better if your user data is sold to a nation that is not a communist nation. If they're your competitor, it doesn't matter if you're in a political conflict with them, which, in case of the United States, probably quite a few other nations. I don't know, man. I don't know. What's the point? Like this whole communism against democracy shit, that's like so 1980. I think we should draw the attention to data breaches and security and privacy in general and improve that. Why can 81% of these lawmakers or decision makers not come the fuck together and actually work on a solution for all the data leaks that are happening all the time, personal data being sold, everything being recorded, interpreted, analyzed, and then all those innocent citizens are manipulated into buying shit they don't need, which is bad for the environment too. Why is there no effort to prevent that kind of bullshit? And if you don't want fake news, what you should offer is not less news and less options. You should offer more options to people. You should offer a bigger variety. And in that way, I think TikTok is actually pretty interesting because it represents so many nations, so many people from all over the world. So in that way, it is actually pretty unique. Not that I'm saying it's a good app. Basically, all the social media apps are problematic at this point. Which brings me to the last point. Looking at apps like Instagram and Facebook, how are they any better? Like the only difference is that they are based in a different country, not China, because China is evil. And I mean, you can think that way. China is for sure a nation with problematic legislation and problematic handling of privacy as well. And I understand why you would prefer to do business with other countries. But you still import Xiaomi phones. You still import basically every fucking thing from China. You rely on China in every other way. But TikTok is where it ends. That's where you draw the line. That's so hypocritical. Instagram, Facebook, and I don't know what else, what other apps there are, Twitch probably, I don't know. They all do this shit. They just seem to get away with it more easily. I mean, has anyone ever read the fine print? For instance, on Instagram, I think that if you upload photos, they can basically do whatever they want with it. They can use it for advertising, and the reason for that is they want to basically show a screenshot and share Instagram as in, like, look at our ad, here is what Instagram looks like, and they want to use examples of creators, of big influencers influencers, then they want to be able to do that without asking you. Now, if you inherently think everyone is good, humans are just good, and nothing bad is going to come up of this, then yeah, that's a way to explain that away. But still, you're signing away your rights to this app and you don't know what they will do with that. You don't. And it's the same with TikTok, it's the same with Facebook, it's the same with any other social media app, just that we're not really talking about this. So I've discussed a lot of issues in this video. Please let me know the one that you find most problematic and you want to talk about. I find it really important to keep a variety of opinions in this debate because I don't think we should make it about nationality or good or bad intentions behind some app. Where there's capitalism, there are little to none good intentions. The main intention is to gather a lot of money. The best example of stuff like that is woke washing and greenwashing of content and of entire companies. We don't fall for that shit on this channel. So let me know what you think. End of video.